The Balearic Islands are located in the Mediterranean Sea, 190 kilometers east of the mainland. Ibiza, Menorca, Formentera, and Mallorca have all become popular tourist targets due to their favorable location and climate. From May to October, the sun shines 10 to 11 hours a day. It almost never rains, and the temperature of the sea is above 20 degrees Celsius. Approximately 7 million tourists visit here every year. Half of them are German, but many are British and Scandinavian. Domestic tourism, when the citizens of the big cities of the country come here for vacation, is not negligible either. Mallorca provides its guests with historical and cultural attractions, perfect beaches, and a wide range of activities. Mallorca's name can be associated with the word Maiolica, which is not unintentional. The island was the birthplace and name giver of these enameled earthen pots. The basic glaze containing tin very quickly absorbs the colors, and so also defines the technique. The decoration has to be done quickly and precisely. There's no chance for corrections. The extremely high burning temperature determines what kind of colors can be used. The brightness and shininess compensate for the relatively limited amount of colors. In addition to Spain, Maiolica spread the most in Italy, and in these two countries, it's also used as an architectural element. Kitchen pots made of Mallorcan red clay are also very characteristic and are used every day in the local households. Besides pottery, wooden goods made of olive, baskets, products woven of bark, blown glass goods, and cultivated pearl are considered traditional goods of Mallorca. Today, the cultivation and selling of pearls is done in the environs of Manacor. The local craft centers are Porto, Inca, and Falantiques. Many think that the capital of the island, Palma de Mallorca, is the nicest city of the Mediterranean Sea area. Already James I thought the same, in spite of the fact that he hadn't seen the famous cathedral that was built by his order. According to legend, the king's ship was caught in a storm, and he pledged to have a huge church built if he survived. The Mallorca Mosque in Medina was demolished, and construction began on a new Gothic church in its place, according to plans by Guillem Sagrera. The last stone was placed 130 years after the architect's death, but restructuring was carried out on it throughout the following centuries. Even the outstanding representative of Spanish architecture, Antoni Gaudí, added his own ideas to it. His modern, slightly bizarre vision became embodied in the wrought iron canopy above the altar, decorated with lamps, tapestries, and a colored crucifix. The outside walls are made of the golden yellow limestone of the Santony quarry, and snow-white marble from Carrara was used for the interior. The cathedral in Palma is larger than the one in Cologne. The buttresses spaced closely together radiate an unusual and powerful atmosphere. 14 columns hold the 44-meter-high ceiling of the main nave. Its huge rose window, measuring 11 meters across, is the largest in the world. The windows, decorated with figures or geometrical forms, reflect the sunshine in every color of the rainbow when the sun shines through them. 9 bells peal in the tower, built in 1389. Capella de la Trinitat is the resting place of the Aragonian kings James II and III. The old town is not too big, but more pleasant. The elaborately decorated churches with their fragrance of incense, dignified medieval palaces, and gleaming public buildings are all equally proof of the former richness of Palma. The dark-walled buildings are shut off from the world by huge wooden gates, preventing passers-by from seeing the richness of the interiors. Most of the palaces of the 15th and 16th centuries are inhabited by the builders' descendants. There's not much chance to get inside, but through the wrought iron grating, it's worth admiring the small, intimate inner courtyards and patios, frequently decorated with a fountain and plants. Here, the streets are mainly wider and straighter. The houses are higher than expected. Of the many squares, there are small shady ones full of life like Placa Mercat or Placa Weiler, and big ones such as Placa Mayor or Placa Court, but all are similarly friendly. The Ayuntamiento, the city hall, stands on the Placa Court, surrounded by arcaded houses. The 16th century building with wooden beams is the citadel of the island, but also its collection of paintings is remarkable, where we can even find pictures from Balaquez. It's also worth visiting the ruins of the Arabic baths, which were domed steam baths heated from below, built according to ancient Roman style, and the St. Francis Church, where the tombstone of Raimanus Lullus, the greatest Spanish scientist, philosopher, and writer, stands. In front of it, a statue of Junipero Serra can be found, who established the first Californian missions. He was also born on the island. Painter Joan Miró, however, was born in California, but lived on Mallorca for 40 years. His house is an art center today, with picture gallery and library and a permanent exhibition in his former atelier. Palau Episcopal, residence of the archbishops of the cathedral, is also a notable building. The Casa Oleza is fascinating with its yards connected by wide archways, stairs, and balconies, which could be the scene of a Shakespeare drama. Once, Placa Mayor was the city marketplace. Today, we can buy vegetables, fruits, fish, and other foodstuffs in the covered mercat. Baratillo is even more important for tourists, as a second-hand market is held there on Saturday mornings. Those who are not only interested in buying artwork, but also in their production, should visit Pobla Español, a tasteful outdoor museum with typically Spanish houses, shops, and workshops. The Museum of the Cathedral is a rich storehouse of religious treasures. We can see here reliquaries, golden crucifixes decorated with precious stones, and other treasures. The Moorish conquest forms a thread running through the history of Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Palau de Almudiana, palace of the former Moorish leaders, which the Catholic kings turned into a Gothic palace, stands opposite the cathedral. From the seaside, the palace and the cathedral with their hanging gardens and castle walls are a marvelous spectacle. The National Museum is open to the public with the St. Anne Chapel in its yard. The other part serves as a military headquarters. In 5000 BC, the Balearics were already inhabited. The megalithic memorials we can see in Mallorca at Campo Corpvel and Ses Países originate from 1200 BC. The Romans named the conquered island Balearis Major. Goths, Vandals, and Byzantines were also here, while the Moors arrived in 711 and decided to stay for a longer time. This period was the golden age of the island. The Aragon Christian army occupied the city of Palma only in 1229. During the reign of Isabel and Ferdinand, Islam was finally chased out and whole Spain was united. However, they paid less attention to the Balearics, therefore pirate attacks became a daily occurrence. When Mallorca became the province of Aragon, a continuous decline started in the middle of the 14th century. Through the winning of the sea battle at Lepanto, the Turkish reign in the Mediterranean Sea area could be broken. In the War of Succession that started in the early 1700s, the Habsburgs gained power. 1814 was the year of the War of Independence against the French. After the Spanish Civil War and the two World Wars, the reign of General Franco followed, while in 1983, the country began its way towards democracy and in 1986, it became a member of the European Union. The open-air stage of Parc de la Mar under the city walls is the location of occasional performances where it's a pleasure to have a cool rest next to the big pool. The exit of the huge underground garage leads here. It's best to park here if we wish to visit the cathedral, the Almudena Palace, or the Old Town, but by starting here, we can also walk all over the harbor. Palma's tourist center is the harbor. Observing from the front of the cathedral, it can be easily seen that long piers divide it into several parts. Accordingly, we can find here a fisherman's harbor, a ferry harbor, and a yacht harbor, plus a special one for the pleasure boats. The 1-hour ship journey throughout the capital departs from here. A bicycle path runs along the pier, but we can also go by hansom cab. Understandably, a majority of the restaurants here, regardless of their price category, specialize in fish and seafood. Because of the view of the city and the harbor, it's worth visiting the other royal palace of Palma Castel de Belvoir. Today, a historical museum can be found in the former residence of James I and II, while in the yard, surrounded by massive walls, classical music concerts are held on summer evenings. Watching from outside the walls, we don't even suspect how romantic the inner courtyard is, with the loggias around it. The rocky eastern coast is colored by small idyllic bays. The holiday resorts here are the most cheerful settlements of the island. The tourist factory, Platja de Palma, attracting sizable crowds, is close to the capital. The 8-kilometer-long sandy beach is divided into 16 sections. Its decorative promenade is used by walkers, bicycles, small trains, and hansom cabs. The hotels along the way have a capacity of nearly 40,000 beds. The huge German-style beer cellars, the loud discotheques, and the crowds frighten a lot of people away from here. In defense of Mallorca, we have to mention that the island does everything to please everyone. The countless quiet, small, pine-scented inlets with birds singing provide accommodation to those who want to avoid places similar to Platja de Palma. The centrally idealized and supported tourist program of the 60s placed emphasis on serving as many guests as possible. This was General Franco's great economic miracle. The miracle of the 80s transferred the emphasis from quantity to quality. Today, Spain and Mallorca do their best to repair the damage to the reputation. The autonomic Balearic Parliament presently forces hotel builders to supply one 60-square-meter green area per guest bed. In addition, a new hotel can be built only if an old one is destroyed. More than 1/3 of the island has been declared a nature conservation area. The strict measures brought results at the beginning of the 21st century, something every visitor can convince himself of. Of course, there are those who like the busy life, which is concentrated on the beach during the daytime and the discos at night. This is their place. Even in low season, there's no need to be bored. Dozens of cinemas and casinos are available. Aqua City, built in the Sarenal, with its 150,000 square meter area, is the country's largest and nicest establishment of this kind. The variety of restaurants, snack bars, and bars is even enough to confuse tourists. Italian pizzerias, English pubs, German beer cellars, Scandinavian and Chinese restaurants are here. But of course, there's also the possibility to try the specialties of the Mallorcan cuisine. Near the famous quarries of Saint-Agny on the coast, 2 added holiday resorts lure tourists. Cala d'Or boasts approximately half a dozen beautiful beaches, while Porto Petro has rather kept its traditional style. In the beautiful bay, there's a harbor for fishing ships and boats. If someone spends his vacation here and is willing to get up at dawn, he can not only see an amazing sunrise, but also the preparation and departure of the fishermen. If he has a camera with him, he can take some really amazing pictures. The local specialty is the boat garage, with 2-winged, green-painted doors opening to the water. Here, everyone uses boats for transportation. The villagers can visit their neighbors faster by boat than by car. Probably the income of tourism covers the expenses of the streamlined motorboats which lie peacefully next to old barges that are held together only by their paint. We can see more and more streamlined, snow-white luxury yachts anchoring here, since their foreign owners leave them here the whole year. Phalanx is a sleepy little city with 15,000 inhabitants and is more for the locals than for the tourists, but actually this is what makes it interesting. Above it, on the double mountaintop, a 13th century monastery and a huge statue of Christ may be seen. Its old harbor, Porto Colom, has also become involved in tourism. Also here, we can see some of the beautiful boat garages in which the Ilautes, the traditional Majorcan fishing boats, are standing. Many of the inhabitants living on the island have their holiday homes here. There are no big hotels, so foreigners can rent rooms in familiar small guest houses, and in the evenings they can have dinner in the acclaimed fish and grill restaurants in the bay. Porto Colom, as dozens of other cities, emphasizes the fact that Christopher Columbus was born here. As proof, they mention the name of the city, which they think is equal to the argument Genoa produces. Actually, they don't need further promotion. They wouldn't have the capacity to put up more tourists anyway, but of course, it's a matter of principle. Surrounded by cliffs, the beach of Porto Cristo is a paradise for surfers. The local young people have brought this sport to a near state of perfection. The rock plateaus provide ample opportunity for visitors to admire their skills. Porto Cristo used to be the harbor of the second most inhabited city of the island, Manacor. On the coast, waves break on beautiful rock formations on huge arches. Here we can already see the harbingers of those geological formations that created the caves of the vicinity. Boating is not easy along the frequently divided, lacy coast, but it's certainly very romantic. Many intimate small bays can't be approached from the continent. Though the beautiful small settlement is suitable for a longer vacation, it primarily receives transit passengers who stop to visit the famous caves. The smaller cave is Cuevas del Hams. The bigger and more spectacular one is Cuevas del Drac, in which an orchestra plays on a boat floating under cleverly illuminated stalactites. In high season, long queuing is the price of the attraction. Dragon Cave was excavated in 1896 and is the largest underground cave with a lake in the world. A promenade and bicycle path run along the 3-kilometer-long sandy beach connecting Cala Mayor to Cala Bono. The modern but tasteful coastal hotel row offers accommodation for 18,000 guests in 3- and 4-star categories. The small train, well known from other resorts, runs on the promenade, and we can use it for transport between the hotel, beach, and restaurants. Those who would like to get some exercise can also rent bicycles. This is also recommended because the nicest roadway of the island extends between the coast and Serra de Levant mountain, winding along vineyards, almond trees, orange and olive tree plantations, giving an unforgettable view of the countless small bays. The land displays different shapes every season, but it's the nicest in spring, when the almond trees blossom in white and the cornfields are bright green. The summer is often too hot for hiking, and the beaches and bays entice tourists to swim, sunbathe, or boat here. This is a season for water sports. Pleasure boats are only in Palma or in larger tourist centers, but if we want to find the most hidden small bays, we can come to an agreement with a local boatman almost anywhere. In early September, a festival for tourists is held here with games and sport competitions. We find the exotic park in Bananera only a few kilometers from Cala Mayor, in which botanical gardens, palm, cactus, and banana plantations, and parrot shows, petting zoos, playgrounds, and exotic restaurants await visitors. Cala Rajada, or the Bay of Rays, is an idyllic small fishing harbor with only 2,500 inhabitants. During summer, even as many as 10 times more people mill around in the small cliff inlets surrounded by pine trees. The fishermen return to the harbor with their catches in the afternoon. At this time, restaurant workers and housewives stand in queue for fresh goods. In July, a spectacular ship parade is held on the day of St. Peter and Paul in honor of the fishermen's patron saint. The nearby quaint small town, Cap de Pera, offers us the largest and most intact remaining fortress of the island. The ring road Via Cintura helps us to avoid the capital on our way to the beaches built to the west of Palma. Mainly tourists from Great Britain come to Magaluf, which is part of Palma Nova, where they can use their flat-rate holiday coupons. The March family residence is located nearby on the top of the hill. Juan March, a businessman who accumulated his great riches under suspicious circumstances, was one of the 10 richest men in the world. He was born in Santa Margalida in Mallorca and also died on the island. He wasn't the only millionaire in this land, but the only one who was born here. Several British and American investors built hotels, private clubs, or villas here. Robert Graves, the famous writer of the bestseller I, Claudius, lived here and is also buried here. Calvia, near Magaluf, is the richest and most illustrious holiday resort in Spain, but less well-to-do tourists can find something here too. Here is the only casino of Mallorca, as well as the largest discotheque in Europe, Mammut, or Mammoth. Pimienta awaits its visitors with an 18-hole golf course and marine land with a seal and dolphin show. The submarine Nemo, departing from the harbor of Magaluf, is the perfect solution for those who prefer to admire the underwater world and still stay dry. Santa Ponce is a holiday resort built together with Magaluf, popular with foreign sailors who like to visit its fjord-like bay. The town is famous for the landing of King James I in December 1229, before he went to Palma against the Moors. The ruler of Aragon destroyed anything that was in the least associated with Islam. James II, his descendant, announced the independent Majorcan kingdom of the Balearic Islands, and the Mediterranean sea trade thrived under his reign. The Cruz de la Conquista, meaning Crucifix of Conquest, indicates the place where the king landed. Today, nothing else reminds of the past except the beautifully restored crucifix. Instead, tourists are urged to enjoy the present, their precious short vacation, of which every moment should be cherished. The possibilities are given: beautiful landscapes, sunshine, and sea. The rest is up to us. The hilly land of Paguera is perfect for walking, hiking, and cycling. The coastal promenade was built in 1997, and since then, the number of small hotels and restaurants has been increasing steadily. A lot of German tourists come here, and several famous people have bought villas for themselves. Top model Claudia Schiffer has engaged the Spanish star architect Pedro Otsup to build her house 2 kilometers away in Camp de Mar. The rich and famous like to have dinner in the small restaurant called Sileta, which is built on the water and can be approached only by a wooden pier. The charming natural beauties of Mallorca are acclaimed by many. Those who drive along the mountain road from Magaluf to Banyabufar can see for themselves. The view is amazing, but it's better not to admire it while driving. Several small parking places have been built for this purpose. Some have only room for one car. Others are equipped with a terrace and snack bar offering cold drinks. In the words of Peter Rosbach, an expert on the island, the road from Andratx to Cape Formentor through Banyalbufar and Sa Calobra is one of the dream roads of Europe. The most breathtaking section begins at the northern part of Tramuntana. At some points, the cliffs become narrower, so much so that we can hardly believe that a car can go through. A romantic watchtower stands next to the road from the time when pirates were here. After each turn, a new fascinating picture unfolds before us. Deep blue sea, silvery crown of very old olive trees, immense stone terraces, ochre-colored houses, and cliffs dramatically towering above them. Banyalbufar, with 1,000 inhabitants, is perhaps the nicest fishing village of the island. The mother village above is built on terraces from the Moorish ages. The whole area is a nature reserve, in spite of the fact that it's privately owned. Wonderful cliffs rise from lush tropical vegetation. Evergreens and bushes with flowers of 1,000 different colors cover the mountainsides. The houses built on the hillside differ from each other, but are somehow all the same. They're the same in the choice of materials, in the beautifully built stone walls, in their colors, and in the uniform usage of window shutters and terracotta tiles. And also in the rustic style that preserves the nearness to nature, which is popular in the whole Mediterranean area and fashionable in the whole world. Valdemossa, the wild shore, built 420 meters above sea level, is a favorite target of the Mallorcan Costa Brava. The picturesque land has attracted several actors, artists, poets, and musicians. During the past centuries, several painters have made the art of Spain world famous. Pedro Berruguete was active in the Renaissance period, and El Greco, who became 100% Spanish, worked at the end of the 16th century. The Ribeiro brothers painted mysterious visions similar to the ones of El Greco. The famous Diego Velázquez was a court painter in the 17th century. The versatile Alonso Cano's works can be seen primarily in Andalusia. De Goya is perhaps the most well-known painter of Spanish landscapes and people. The 20th century gave the world the Impressionist Ignacio Zuluaga, as well as Picasso and Dalí, and Joan Miró, who worked in Mallorca, and Corbadole and settled in Valdemossa. In the galleries here, we can discover works of several unknown but very talented painters. The main site of the city is the Cartouts Monastery, originating from the 14th century. From here, there's an especially beautiful view of the mountains. In the 19th century, the monastery became less and less active, but its church is still in operation. In 1838, the seriously ill Chopin lived here. His piano and some of his scores can be seen in a memorial room. Because of his worsening tuberculosis, the composer and pianist of French-Polish origin moved to the island because of its pleasant climate, even in winter. Georges Sand, his partner with a scandalous life, also moved with him. Here we can see the original manuscript of her book written here, entitled One Winter in Mallorca. In the 16th century, Catalina de Toma, the only Mallorcan saint, was born in the house next to the church. This place also attracts famous artists of our days. Why did the popular actor Michael Douglas decide to invest a part of his significant fortune here? Some years ago, the super elegant club Costa Nord was opened here. It's known by Kirk Douglas's son Michael, the star of such films as Romancing the Stone, Fatal Attraction, Wall Street, and Basic Instinct. On the way from Valldemossa to Daya, we find Els Ermitans, a small hermit house, where monks live according to St. Paul's laws even today. As the view from here is beautiful, those who know the country often take walks and have picnics here. The legend of Ute Cistercian Monastery, founded in 1232, is about a Moor shepherd boy who was converted to Christianity and who found the statue of Black Madonna. However, he carried it in vain to the priest of the neighboring city. The sculpture always found its way back, indicating that it wanted a church to be built there. Nowadays, thousands come here especially to see it. It's understandable why Archduke Ludwig Salvator of Habsburg, who was the first and most enthusiastic promoter of Mallorca, settled down among the likes of Valldemossa and Daya. At that time, the amazing land still had preserved its national dress, customs, its old face. It was here that the aristocrat wrote his book entitled Balear Islands, which he printed in his own press. The Daya festival that lasts from July to October features classical music. A recent addition is a tram which connects Sóller to the capital, and in order to shorten the long, winding mountain way, a tunnel has been built on the public road. These two facts also emphasize the importance of Sóller and how frequently it's visited. The town has an especially mild climate and is situated in the middle of Valle de los Naranjos, namely the Valley of Oranges. The name Sóller refers to gold, and it used to be the summer residence of the Moor rulers. The highest mountain of the island, the 1,445-meter Puig Mayor, towers above the city. Sóller is a unique city, and today the basis of its richness is tourism. Indisputably, this is the most valuable place of Mallorca due to its beautiful location and its San Francisco-style nostalgic streetcar. The city train is a rather anachronistic sight as it rattles its way along the sunny beach. Especially as it departs from downtown from between City Hall and San Bartolomeo Church and crosses the main square. And also the terrace of a large cafe. Then its way leads through orange groves and small gardens until it reaches the coast and the semicircle of the long bay. The friendly conductor sells tickets and signals the departure of the tram with a whistle. Upon finding a suitable spot for swimming, anyone can get off, which is no easy job in high season. But there are those who make the journey just for the pleasure of traveling by tram. There are beautiful views from almost all points of the bay. However, most visitors go to the lighthouse, from where they can have a view of the angrily surging water. On the gently ascending hill, there's hardly a single free square meter, as it's so filled up with newer and more beautiful holiday homes and villas. But down on the coast, some old houses are still standing. In front of them are the garage-like boathouses like we can find in Porto Petro or elsewhere all over the island, soaking their baseboards in the water. We can eat well in the little restaurants located in these kinds of old houses. The flavors of the Balearic cuisine do not match completely those of the Spanish, though today we can get gazpacho, paella, and sangria here as well. Olives and the famous Mallorcan capers are valued as seasonings. Raisins, juniper berries, and almonds are frequently used in their dishes. Mallorca's specialty is porcella or piglet, but they're also very fond of one-course dishes. Sopas mallorquinas is one of them, which in spite of its name is not a soup, but a cabbage and pork casserole. Yon am col is meat stuffed in cabbage leaves. Lamb is very popular, but venison and rabbit even more so. Soprasada, a flaming red soft sausage, is well known even among tourists. Vegetable dishes can mostly be compared to the Greek moussaka. The range of dishes made of fish, squid, shellfish, and crabs is wide, and the consumption of snails is also widespread. They eat mainly starters called tapas or salad instead of soup. Pastas, cakes, sweets, and of course fresh fruits are excellent. There are many fine Mallorcan wines, and the specialties of the island are the different citrus liqueurs. Anise brandy is also a local specialty. Teetotalers can taste fresh orange juice or almond milk, called horchata. During the last centuries, the mountains isolated Soller from the rest of the island, which is why trade with the French became important for them, and this is the explanation for that light French-like style which fills the city. Wild cicadas chirp, the fragrance of pine trees, sparkling sunshine, sky-high wild cliffs, below among the pines the turquoise blue bay and the white sand. Eagles circle around the peak. The coast of the Mediterranean Sea is full of beautiful beaches. Each can be loved for a different reason, but there are few so special as the Calobra. The fascinating round rock basin is like a stadium. Inside, there's a pebbly beach created by the rolling estuary of a wild stream. It's a bit like the scenery of spectacular Western films. If you want to skip the tiring climb, you can get there in two different ways. From Soller, a more than 30-kilometer-long steep road full of 360-degree turns, the so-called Snake Serpentine, leads here. Well-built pedestrian tunnels lead from the parking lot to the beach. The other possibility is the voyage from the harbor of Soller, promising totally different sights. However we come, we'll experience the most interesting swimming experience of our life, though in high season we have to share this with a few hundred other people. If we observe the sunset here and it gets dark on us, we find not only good restaurants around the parking place, but familiar small guest houses as well. We can have beautiful trips in the wildly romantic land. Al-Qudiyya means hill in Arabic. The Moors built their capital here at the conquest of the island in 903. They weren't the first. In the Roman Empire, there was already a settlement here on a Phoenician foundation named Pallantiana. The prospering city became uninhabited throughout the course of the 5th century. By today, hardly anything remains because the Arabs reused the Roman stones for building. What we can visit is the foundation wall of Spain's smallest amphitheater, the Teatro Romano, which has a capacity of only 2,000. Behind the amphitheater are the 15-meter-deep catacombs, which allegedly was the site of the first secret meeting place of the Christians. We learn more in the Museo Monografico de Pollentia, a small local museum next to City Hall, where a model of a whole Roman house and the findings of the excavations are exhibited. Quicksand accumulates to the west and gradually changes to choppy sand dunes. It's quite surprising how rich the fauna of the dunes is. Next to unassuming small bushes, we come across special white flowers. We should take care of these strictly protected rare plants. As on the Californian Venice Beach, an attempt was made here to form a flowery residential quarter divided frequently by lagoons. The apartments can be rented, but also purchased under favorable conditions. Boats run on the small channels and slender bridges span them. This small settlement extending from the reservoir to the beach is especially pleasant. In the downtown area, in front of the shops, we can get on handsome cabs as well, taking us to the beach or the harbor. The huge harbor is the starting point of boat trips. The trips going round the whole island depart from here, but we can also take longer trips, for instance, to the island of Menorca. The restaurants of the harbor, Bogaventa and Miramar, are specialized in fish and seafood, with open grills in the evenings. The remaining parts of the city wall and city gate, Casa de la Portea, are the decisive monuments of Alcudia. The city wall had to be rebuilt under the reign of James II because of pirate attacks. The building continued throughout the next few centuries. 3 gates were erected: San Sebastian, Villaroja, and Zara. The small, beautiful St. James Church from the 14th century was built into the city wall. The crucifix is kept in here, which is shown during processions. From Alcudia, it's worth going on a trip to the Formentor Cape that extends 13 kilometers into the sea, to the lighthouse, or into the windsurfer's paradise of Pollença Bay, where the most shellfish can be found in the coastal sand. The land is primarily the favorite of British tourists, as was probably the same decades ago when Agatha Christie spent her vacation here with her husband, the archaeologist Max Malevin. The memory of their vacation is the crime novel entitled Pollença Bay. Lovers of extreme sports can try out the latest fad, the kite, which is a mixture of windsurfing and gliding.